99% of you are not subscribed to the channel. At 1,000 subscribers, I will post a series of special stories. Subscribe now. The year was 2123, and Earth had become a shadow of its former self. Once a thriving hub of life and innovation, the planet was now a desolate wasteland. Environmental disasters, resource depletion, and the chaos of a collapsing ecosystem had driven humanity to seek refuge among the stars. Those who remained on the dying planet did so out of desperation or a refusal to leave their home behind. Among the few remaining souls was Dr. Alex Turner, a once prominent scientist who had chosen to stay behind, clinging to a fragile hope. Alex was a man in his late 30s, with unkempt brown hair and a rugged beard that spoke of hardship. He was a man marked by loss, not only of his world, but also of his beloved wife, Dr. Elena Turner, a brilliant researcher who had vanished during the chaos of the evacuation. Their daughter, Lily, a bright and curious 8-year-old, was the only light in his life. Despite the bleak surroundings, she remained optimistic, a beacon of innocence in a world gone dark. They lived in the crumbling remains of an old research facility, one of the few structures still standing amidst the decaying city. The facility had once been a center of cutting-edge research, a place where Alex and Elena had worked together to push the boundaries of science. Now, it was a shelter, a place where Alex and Lily could hide from the dangers that lurked outside: rogue scavengers, mutated wildlife, and the ever-encroaching wilderness. One fateful afternoon, Alex was working on an old radio transmitter in a dilapidated lab. It was a long-shot attempt to contact anyone who might still be listening, a daily ritual that had yet to yield any results. As he adjusted the dials, static crackled through the speakers. For a moment it seemed like another dead end, just more noise in the emptiness. But then, something extraordinary happened. Amid the static, a strange melodic sound emerged, a language unlike any he had ever heard. It was neither human nor mechanical, but something entirely different, beautiful and haunting. Startled, Alex leaned closer, trying to decipher the transmission. The voice was otherworldly, each note resonating with a peculiar harmony that sent shivers down his spine. He quickly grabbed a notebook, jotting down the sounds in a desperate attempt to make sense of them. As the transmission continued, the ground beneath the facility began to tremble. The sound grew louder, and a brilliant light flashed across the sky, cutting through the perpetual gray clouds. Outside, Lily ran to the window, her eyes wide with awe. "Daddy, look!" she exclaimed, pointing toward the sky. Alex rushed to her side, just in time to see a spaceship streaking toward the ground. It was sleek and metallic, unlike any human design, and it was heading straight for them. The vessel crashed with a thunderous roar, sending a shockwave through the area. Dust and debris filled the air, and the ground shook violently. Instinctively, Alex grabbed Lily, pulling her close to shield her from the impact. As the dust settled, an eerie silence fell over the area. Alex, heart pounding, peered through the haze at the crash site. His scientific curiosity, combined with the hope of finding someone, anyone, alive, propelled him forward. He took Lily by the hand, and together they cautiously approached the wreckage. The spaceship was half buried in the ground, its hull scorched and smoking. It was a sight both terrifying and mesmerizing. As they neared the crash, a figure emerged from the debris. Tall and graceful, she stood amidst the wreckage, her form bathed in a soft blue glow. She had shimmering blue skin, her hair flowing like liquid silver, and eyes that glowed with an ethereal light. Her features were delicate and otherworldly, yet there was a kindness in her gaze that put Alex and Lily at ease. She seemed both ancient and ageless, an enigma wrapped in beauty. Alex felt a mixture of awe and fear. This was no human. She was an alien, a being from another world. The reality of it all was overwhelming. He had spent his life studying the cosmos, theorizing about the possibility of extraterrestrial life, but never had he imagined encountering it firsthand, especially on a dying Earth. The alien woman looked at them, her eyes filled with an emotion that Alex couldn't quite place. She took a step forward and raised her hand, palm open in a gesture of peace. Despite the language barrier, there was an unmistakable sense of communication, a connection that transcended words. She spoke, her voice resonating like a melody. Though Alex couldn't understand her language, he felt an overwhelming sense of compassion and sorrow emanating from her. Lily, ever fearless, stepped forward, her small hand reaching out toward the alien. "Who are you?" she asked in a small, curious voice. The alien smiled, a warm, gentle expression that seemed to light up her entire being. She placed her hand over her heart and then gestured to herself, uttering a single word that resonated in their minds: Nira. At that moment, Alex knew that their lives had changed forever. Nira's presence was a revelation, a sign of hope amidst the despair. But questions filled his mind. Who was she? Why had she come to Earth? And what did this mean for him and Lily? As these thoughts swirled, one thing became clear. Nira was not just a visitor, she was a savior. In the midst of their darkest hour, a beautiful alien had arrived, offering them a glimmer of light in a world on the brink of extinction. The crash had brought with it more than just a visitor from the stars. It heralded the arrival of a mysterious being, Nira, whose presence seemed to carry a promise of hope and danger alike. As Alex, Lily, and their unexpected guest settled into the ruins of the old research facility, a fragile alliance began to form. Communication, however, posed an immediate challenge. Nira's language was a melodic symphony of sounds, unlike anything Alex had ever encountered. Yet her telepathic abilities soon bridged the gap, allowing thoughts and emotions to flow between them. Nira's mind was a tapestry of complex images and sensations. Through a mixture of telepathic impressions and gestures, she conveyed fragments of her story. She was from a distant planet in the Andromeda Galaxy, part of a highly advanced civilization known as the Elysians. Her people were explorers, not conquerors, driven by a deep sense of empathy and a commitment to preserving life across the cosmos. They had been observing Earth for years, watching its slow descent into chaos and ruin. The Elysians had once faced a similar catastrophe on their own world, narrowly avoiding extinction through a harmonious balance of technology and nature. Nira's mission was to search for any remaining survivors on Earth and offer them aid. Her crash landing had been an unfortunate accident, caused by a sudden malfunction in her ship's navigation systems. Despite the mishap, Nira remained determined to fulfill her mission. She needed Alex's help to repair her ship, which had suffered significant damage during the crash. In return, she promised to help Alex and Lily find a new home, potentially among the stars. As days turned into weeks, a routine developed. Nira, with her ethereal grace, explored the facility, helping Alex identify salvageable parts and materials for the repairs. Her knowledge of advanced technology far surpassed anything Alex had encountered, and he was both awed and humbled by her capabilities. With her guidance, they began the intricate task of restoring her ship. The process was slow and arduous, filled with moments of frustration and small victories. Yet, through it all, Nira's patience never wavered. Lily, with the boundless curiosity of a child, quickly bonded with Nira. Despite the language barrier, they found ways to communicate. Nira would project images and feelings into Lily's mind, showing her visions of Elysia, a world of lush forests, crystalline waters, and cities that floated among the clouds. In return, Lily shared her drawings, depicting the Earth as she imagined it once was, full of life and color. Nira would often smile at these pictures, a bittersweet expression that hinted at a deep understanding of loss. The bond between Alex and Nira also deepened. Late at night, when Lily was asleep, they would sit together in the control room, surrounded by the hum of ancient machinery and the distant echoes of the wasteland outside. Nira would share memories of her home, painting vivid pictures of a society that had mastered the art of coexistence with nature. Elysia was a place where technology was used not to dominate, but to nurture. Their cities were powered by clean energy. Their people lived in harmony with the natural world, and their leaders were chosen not by wealth or power, but by wisdom and empathy. In turn, Alex shared his own stories. He spoke of the Earth that once was, of humanity's achievements and failures, and of his own personal losses. He told Nira about Elena, his wife, and the desperate search that had kept him and Lily on Earth long after most had left. The pain in his voice was palpable, a raw wound that had never healed. Naira listened with a quiet intensity, her empathy evident in the way she would reach out and place a gentle hand on his arm, offering comfort without words. Yet, beneath the surface, tensions simmered. The remnants of Earth's hostile forces, those who had turned to banditry and lawlessness, were always a threat. The crash had not gone unnoticed, and rumors of an alien presence spread quickly among the scattered survivors. Naira's advanced technology was a prize that many would kill to obtain, a potential ticket off the dying planet or a weapon to dominate what little remained of civilization. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a blood-red glow over the landscape, Alex and Nira stood on the roof of the facility. The air was thick with the scent of decay, a constant reminder of the world's state. As they gazed out over the wasteland, Nira's expression grew somber. She spoke telepathically, her thoughts a gentle whisper in Alex's mind. She expressed her sorrow for humanity, for the path that had led them to this point, and her hope that, despite everything, there could still be a future. Alex felt a strange sense of kinship with Nira. Though they were from different worlds, they shared a deep longing for a better future, a desire to protect those they loved. He knew that Nira's presence was a double-edged sword. She was a beacon of hope, but also a target for those who would exploit her for their own gain. The thought of losing her, after everything they had been through, filled him with a quiet dread. As they worked together, Alex and Nira began to uncover the extent of her ship's damage. It was more severe than they had initially thought. Key components were missing or broken, and some of the technology was so advanced that even with Naira's guidance, repairs seemed nearly impossible. Despite the setbacks, Naira remained hopeful. She believed that with time and perseverance, they could succeed. For Alex, this unwavering optimism was both inspiring and heartbreaking. As the days passed, Alex noticed a change in Nira. She seemed more guarded, her usual serenity occasionally giving way to moments of deep contemplation. It was as if she were carrying a burden too heavy to share. One night, as they sat in the control room, Nira revealed the truth. She had not come to Earth by chance. The Elysians had been monitoring a specific signal from Earth, a distress call that had originated from none other than Elena's last known location. Nira had come to investigate, hoping to find survivors, and in doing so, had found Alex and Lily. This revelation stunned Alex. The possibility that his wife might still be alive, out there somewhere, reignited a flame of hope that he had long thought extinguished. But with this hope came a new urgency. The repairs needed to be completed, and they had to leave Earth as soon as possible. Naira warned him that the Elysians were not the only ones who had detected the signal. Others had noticed too, and they would come looking, not just for Elena, but for Nira and her advanced technology. The stakes had never been higher. With Naira's ship in disrepair and time running out, Alex faced a difficult choice. He could stay and continue his search for Elena, risking everything, or he could leave with Naira and Lily, seeking safety among the stars. As he grappled with this decision, the bond between him and Naira grew stronger, their shared experiences forging a deep and lasting connection. In the midst of uncertainty and danger, one thing was clear. Naira was more than just a beautiful alien from a distant world. She was a savior, a friend, and perhaps something more. As they stood on the precipice of a new adventure, Alex felt a sense of purpose rekindled within him. Together they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, guided by the light of a beautiful alien who had come to save them from the darkness. As the days passed, the atmosphere around the abandoned research facility grew tense. Alex, Nira, and Lily worked tirelessly on the spaceship, each repair bringing them closer to the possibility of escape. However, the sense of urgency was palpable. The news of Nira's presence on Earth, and the potential treasure trove of Elysian technology, had spread among the scattered survivors and bandit groups that roamed the desolate lands. Among these groups was a ruthless leader named Cade. Once a soldier before Earth's collapse, Cade had become a notorious scavenger, leading a gang of merciless outlaws. He had heard the rumors of an alien with advanced technology, and the prospect of such a prize was too tempting to ignore. For Cade, Naira represented not just a potential way off the dying planet, but also a means to amass power and control over whatever remained of humanity. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the facility, Cade's gang moved in. The facility, isolated and largely undefended, was an easy target. Alex and Naira had taken precautions, setting up makeshift defenses and alarms, but they were no match for Cade's well-armed and organized forces. As the intruders breached the perimeter, a cacophony of alarms blared, startling Alex and Naira from their work. Naira immediately sensed the danger, her telepathic abilities picking up on the aggressive intent of the intruders. She quickly communicated with Alex, urging him to hide Lily. "They're coming," her voice echoed in his mind, filled with urgency. Alex's heart raced as he grabbed Lily, ushering her into a concealed compartment they had prepared for emergencies. "Stay quiet, sweetie. No matter what happens, stay hidden," he whispered, kissing her forehead before closing the compartment door. With Lily safely hidden, Alex and Naira faced the inevitable confrontation. The invaders burst into the control room, weapons drawn. At their head was Cade, a tall, imposing figure with cold, calculating eyes. He surveyed the scene, a smirk playing on his lips. Well, what do we have here?" he drawled, his gaze locking onto Naira. "An alien in our midst. You must be Naira, the one everyone's been talking about." Naira stood tall, her expression serene yet defiant. She made no attempt to hide her otherworldly nature, her blue skin glowing faintly in the dim light. Cade's eyes glittered with greed as he approached her, circling her like a predator. "I've heard you're quite the prize," he continued, his voice laced with menace. "Advanced technology, knowledge of the stars, all that could be very useful. You see, I'm in the market for a way off this rock, and you might just be my ticket." Alex stepped forward, his fists clenched. "Leave her alone, Cade. She's not a threat to you," he said, trying to keep his voice steady. But Cade merely laughed, a harsh, mocking sound. "Not a threat? Oh, she's much more than that. She's an opportunity, and you're going to help me get what I want." He nodded to his men, and they moved in, roughly restraining Alex and Naira. As they were bound, Cade's eyes flicked toward the spaceship. "I've seen many things, but nothing like this. You're going to tell me how it works, all of it. And if you don't—" He let the threat hang in the air, a sinister smile curling his lips. The implications were clear: cooperation, or they would face the consequences. Naira remained silent, her eyes locked on Cade's, unwavering. Alex struggled against his bonds, his mind racing with fear and anger. Cade's men began ransacking the facility, searching for anything of value. They found the hidden compartment where Lily was concealed, but by some stroke of luck or grace, they overlooked it in their haste. Inside, Lily huddled, her small body trembling with fear. She could hear the commotion outside, the muffled voices, and the heavy footsteps. Tears welled in her eyes, but she stayed silent, just as her father had told her. Meanwhile, in the control room, Cade continued his interrogation. He demanded that Naira reveal the secrets of her technology, threatening Alex's life to coerce her. Naira, ever calm, used her telepathic abilities to reach out to Alex, sharing a plan. She explained that the beacon on the spaceship could be reactivated to send a distress signal to any nearby Elysian ships. The problem was, they needed time, and the ship's systems were not fully operational. As Cade's men grew increasingly impatient, Naira made a show of compliance. She pretended to explain the ship's systems, using vague gestures and descriptions that only served to confuse Cade and his men further. This bought Alex the precious minutes he needed. Using a hidden switch, he discreetly activated a backup console linked to the ship. With trembling fingers, he began the process of reactivating the beacon. The tension in the room was palpable. Naira continued her distraction, while Alex worked frantically. Suddenly, one of Cade's men noticed the console's faint glow. "Hey, what are you doing?" he shouted, lunging toward Alex. In a flash, Naira reacted. Her eyes flared with a brilliant light, and a wave of telekinetic force swept through the room, sending Cade's men crashing into the walls. For a moment, everything was chaos: shouts, the clatter of weapons, and the hum of the ship's systems coming online. Cade, furious and disoriented, staggered to his feet. "You think you can fight me, alien?" he snarled, pulling a knife from his belt. He lunged at Nira, but she sidestepped with an elegance that belied her strength. In an instant, she raised her hand, and a pulse of energy emanated from her palm, knocking the knife from Cade's grasp. Her eyes met his, and for the first time, there was anger in her gaze. Alex, seizing the opportunity, finished the activation sequence. The beacon flared to life, sending out a distress signal into the void of space. It was a call for help, a last-ditch effort to summon aid from Nira's people. But even as the signal pulsed out, the situation on the ground remained dire. Cade, realizing the tables were turning, grabbed Alex, holding him as a human shield. "Stop, or he dies," Cade growled, pressing a gun to Alex's head. The room fell silent, the air thick with tension. Nira hesitated, her eyes darting between Alex and Cade. In that moment, it was clear she cared deeply for the human who had become her friend and ally. But she knew that she could not allow Cade to leave with her or her technology. It would spell disaster for countless lives. Before anyone could react, a voice cut through the tension. "Let my daddy go." It was Lily, standing in the doorway, her eyes wide with fear but filled with determination. In her hand, she held a small, glowing device, one of Nira's gadgets. Cade sneered. "Or what, little girl? You think you can scare me?" But Lily didn't back down. She pressed a button on the device, and a blinding flash of light filled the room. It was a stun device, a last resort defense mechanism Nira had given her in case of emergencies. Cade staggered, blinded and disoriented. In that split second, Nira moved. With a burst of speed, she reached Cade, disarming him with a fluid motion and throwing him to the ground. The room fell silent, save for the hum of the spaceship systems. Cade lay on the floor, defeated, while his men, regaining consciousness, saw the futility of their situation and surrendered. Nira stood tall, her aura radiant and formidable. She looked at Alex, her expression softening. He nodded, gratitude and relief evident in his eyes. As they secured Cade and his gang, the spaceship's communication system crackled to life. A voice, speaking in Nira's language, filled the room. It was an Elysian rescue team responding to the distress signal. Relief washed over Nira. Help was on the way. But as the reality of the situation settled, a somber mood enveloped the room. The threat had passed, but the cost of their actions was clear. They had made enemies, and the remnants of humanity on Earth were unlikely to welcome their departure without suspicion or resentment. With the Elysians en route, Nira knew it was time to make a choice. She approached Alex and Lily, her expression filled with a mix of sorrow and resolve. "Your world is in chaos," she communicated telepathically, "but there is hope for a future among the stars. I offer you a place on Elysia, where you can rebuild and thrive." Alex looked at Lily, then back at Nira. The decision weighed heavily on him. Leaving Earth meant abandoning the search for Elena, yet staying posed undeniable dangers, especially with Cade and others like him still out there. He took a deep breath, the weight of the world on his shoulders. "We can't stay here," he finally said, his voice firm. "For Lily's sake, we need a fresh start." Nira nodded, understanding the difficulty of his choice. As they prepared to leave, they secured Cade and his gang, ensuring they would not pose an immediate threat. The Elysian rescue team would handle the rest, extracting the prisoners and recovering any valuable technology left behind. As the Elysian ship landed, a sleek silver vessel, Alex and Lily stood hand in hand, ready to step into a new life. Nira, ever the guardian and guide, led them aboard. The doors closed behind them, sealing away the remnants of a broken world. As the ship lifted off, the ground receding beneath them, Alex felt a mixture of relief and sorrow. He looked out the window at the desolate landscape, the world he had known slipping away. Nira stood beside him, her presence a comforting reassurance. "This is not an end, but a beginning," she conveyed, her voice gentle in his mind. Alex nodded, a small smile forming on his lips. They were leaving behind the chaos and danger of Earth, but they were not leaving alone. They had each other, and with Nira's help, they had a chance at a new life, a future filled with hope and possibility. As the ship soared into the vast expanse of space, leaving the dying Earth behind, Alex, Lily, and Neera faced an uncertain but promising future. The stars stretched out before them, a tapestry of endless possibilities, guided by the light of a beautiful alien who had become their savior and friend. The journey to Elysia was both a physical and emotional odyssey for Alex and Lily. As they traveled through the vastness of space, the ship's sleek interior hummed with advanced technology, its walls adorned with glowing symbols that seemed to pulse with life. Neera, ever the attentive host, ensured their comfort, guiding them through the ship's systems and the customs of her people. The voyage offered Alex and Lily a chance to bond further with Neera. Despite the stark differences between their worlds, a deep friendship had blossomed, forged in the crucible of their shared experiences. Neera took every opportunity to share her knowledge and culture, introducing them to the rich history and philosophies of the Elysians. She explained how her people had learned from their own near catastrophe, evolving into a society that cherished harmony and balance above all. One evening, as they gathered in the observation deck, Neera revealed a breathtaking view of the Andromeda Galaxy. The sight was mesmerizing, a swirling mass of stars, nebulae, and cosmic dust, a vibrant dance of colors that seemed to stretch on infinitely. Lily pressed her face against the glass, her eyes wide with wonder. "It's so beautiful," she whispered, her voice filled with awe. Alex stood beside her, his thoughts heavy with the weight of their journey. He had left behind everything he had known, the remnants of a broken Earth, the search for his lost wife. The uncertainty of their future loomed large, but in this moment, the beauty of the cosmos offered a fleeting sense of peace. Neera, sensing his turmoil, placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "Elysia is a place of healing and hope," she communicated. "There you can find peace and rebuild your life." As they neared Elysia, the ship began to slow, its systems preparing for descent. The planet came into view, a vibrant, verdant world that stood in stark contrast to the barren landscapes of Earth. It was a paradise of lush forests, sparkling oceans, and floating cities that glimmered in the sunlight. The sight took Alex's breath away. It was a vision of what Earth might have been, had things been different. The ship touched down in a large, open courtyard, surrounded by sleek, futuristic buildings. The air was crisp and clean, filled with the scent of flowers and the distant sound of running water. As they disembarked, a group of Elysians approached, their presence serene and welcoming. Among them was Elian, a respected elder and leader of the Elysians. Tall and dignified, with eyes that sparkled with wisdom, Elian greeted them warmly. "Welcome to Elysia," he said, his voice resonating with a melodic quality that matched Neera's. "We are honored to have you among us." He looked at Neera, a subtle nod passing between them. It was clear that Neera held a special place among her people, respected and valued for her compassion and bravery. Elian led them through the city, explaining the principles that governed Elysian society. Here, technology was seamlessly integrated with nature, enhancing rather than exploiting the environment. The buildings were made from biosynthetic materials, designed to blend with the natural landscape. Energy was harnessed from renewable sources, ensuring a harmonious coexistence with the planet's ecosystems. The Elysians lived in harmony with their surroundings, a lesson learned from their ancestors' mistakes. As they walked, Neera introduced Alex and Lily to the various facets of Elysian life. They visited communal gardens where fruits and vegetables grew in abundance, nurtured by a collective effort. They saw children playing in parks, their laughter echoing through the air, a stark contrast to the silence and fear that had pervaded Earth's remnants. For Lily, it was a wonderland, a place where she could run free and explore without fear. The transition was not without its challenges. Alex found himself grappling with feelings of loss and guilt. The memories of Earth and the people they had left behind weighed heavily on him. He spent long hours alone contemplating the future and the uncertainties that lay ahead. Neera, ever perceptive, provided quiet support, offering words of comfort and understanding. She shared stories of her own struggles, the sacrifices she had made, and the weight of her responsibilities. One day, as they sat by a serene lake, Nira opened up about her own past. She revealed that she had once lost someone dear to her, a mentor who had been like a parent. The experience had shaped her, instilling a deep sense of duty to protect and guide others. "It is in our nature to grieve, to feel the weight of our losses," she communicated softly. "But it is also in our nature to heal, to find strength in our pain and move forward." Alex listened, her words resonating deeply with him. He realized that he had been holding on to the past, unable to let go of the life he had lost. But here, in this new world, there was an opportunity to start anew, to create a life not defined by the tragedies of the past, but by the possibilities of the future. He looked at Lily, playing by the water's edge, her laughter echoing in the stillness. She deserved a future full of hope and joy, not one burdened by his own grief. As the weeks turned into months, Alex and Lily gradually integrated into Elysian society. Alex found a new purpose, contributing his scientific knowledge to the community's research efforts. He marveled at the advanced technology and the Elysians' deep understanding of the universe. He even began to collaborate on projects that aimed to explore the possibility of restoring Earth's ecosystems, a testament to the Elysians' commitment to helping other civilizations. Lily, with her boundless energy and curiosity, thrived in her new environment. She made friends with Elysian children, learning their language and customs. The trauma of her early years on Earth began to fade, replaced by the joys of exploration and discovery. She would often accompany Nira on walks through the city, asking endless questions and soaking in the wonder of her new home. Nira, too, seemed to flourish. Her mission had been successful, and her people welcomed her back with open arms. Yet she remained close to Alex and Lily, forming a unique bond that transcended their differences. She became a mentor and a guide, sharing her wisdom and helping them navigate their new lives. For Nira, Alex and Lily were not just survivors she had saved. They were friends, a new family that had come to mean a great deal to her. One day, Elian approached Alex with surprising news. During their monitoring of Earth, the Elysians had detected a faint signal, a possible transmission from Elena, Alex's missing wife. The signal was weak and fragmented, originating from a distant Elysian colony that had been established to aid Earth's survivors. The possibility that Elena might still be alive filled Alex with a mix of hope and fear. He had spent so long searching, clinging to the possibility of finding her, and now there was a chance she could be found. Nira offered to accompany Alex on the journey to the colony. She understood the importance of this mission, not just for Alex, but for the closure it could bring. Together, they prepared for the journey, leaving Lily in the care of trusted Elysian friends. As they set off into the stars, Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. This journey was not just about finding Elena. It was about embracing the future, wherever it might lead. The colony, nestled on a lush green world, was a small but thriving community of humans and Elysians. As they landed, Alex's heart raced with anticipation. He scanned the crowd, searching for a familiar face. And then, he saw her, Elena, standing among the colonists, her eyes wide with disbelief. She looked older, more worn than he remembered, but she was alive. The reunion was emotional, filled with tears and laughter. Elena had been working tirelessly to help the colony, using her scientific expertise to aid in the rebuilding efforts. She had feared she might never see Alex and Lily again, believing them lost in the chaos of Earth's final days. Now, reunited, they embraced, holding each other tightly, a family finally whole again. As they prepared to return to Elysia, Alex felt a deep sense of gratitude. He had found not only his wife but also a new home, a new life filled with hope and possibilities. Nira stood beside him, a silent guardian and friend, her presence a constant reminder of the journey they had shared. She had saved them from the brink of despair, guiding them to a place of safety and healing. Back on Elysia, the future looked bright. Alex and Elena, reunited and stronger than ever, set to work on new projects, dedicated to helping both Earth and Elysia flourish. Lily, with her parents by her side, continued to explore and grow, her future full of endless possibilities. And Nira, ever watchful, continued her mission to aid and protect, her bond with the human family she had saved deepening with each passing day. In the end, their story was one of resilience, hope, and the power of connection. Despite the vast distances and differences between their worlds, they had found common ground, forging a new path together. The beautiful alien had saved the abandoned Earthman and his little daughter, and in turn, they had given her something priceless, a new purpose, a new family, and a new beginning. As they looked to the stars, they knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, guided by the light of their shared journey.